see that shit.
It's time to play the game.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see what we're doing here. I see what the energy is gonna be this episode. Welcome. With that said, welcome back. You know what it is.
Oh, we're back.
Yeah, episode 3.
Who would have thought?
Right? I'm gonna address 2 things. You're probably asking yourself. Yes, I am wearing a poncho, and yes, it does snap at the crotch. But that's none of your business. Welcome back to another episode of Through the Wire, the podcast. You feel me? I'm your host, Alan AB.
I'm Ness.
And welcome back, y'all. How are you doing, Ness? How was your week 3, bro?
Oh, my week 3 was amazing.
Really?
I went 3-0 for the weekend. I actually did well.
You're in 3? Oh, yeah, that's right. You did another draft. You're in 3 leagues.
Yeah.
You are a maniac.
I'm still not one of the worst, but I'll take it.
Listen, I'm only in 1 league, and I'm actually the commissioner for this league, and yeah, you know, we're making it do what it does. But week 3 was actually pretty interesting. We could jump right into it. We're not going to hold too long in this one. We're going to speed through it a little bit faster. Week 3 walked away with understanding that the same thing we always knew about fantasy football. There's nothing guaranteed.
We know nothing.
We know nothing. And I think that's the best way to approach every week. Look at your last week and see who's doing what they can consistently. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
You know, we had 3 weeks to measure now. So at this point in the season, you should be preparing for bye weeks. You should be preparing for the playoffs. You should be looking at the players that are going to be able to take you through to the end of the season. This is the time where we start considering who we need to start letting go.
Yep.
And we're going to touch on a little bit of that today too. But ultimately, you know, week 3 is 3 weeks of sample size from your season. You should be able to at least have an idea of generally what to expect from certain people like those bum-ass Giants and Daniel Jones. At this point, you know they're a dumpster trash can of the league. And there shouldn't be, again.
Are you going to say that actually put up good fantasy numbers?
At this point, I'm going to say wholeheartedly, even though he put up good fantasy numbers in this week, Daniel Jones and the New York Giants are the garbage can of the league. I still hold steadfast. I mean, honestly, if we had to really pick a team, right? Because there's always going to be some outlier out there. Because even Bo Nix had a good week on the bum-ass Broncos, right? So we could say that, right? We could say there's good weeks everywhere.
I mean, look what Andy Dalton did with the Panthers.
Honestly.
They look like an actually competent team.
Competence. That's what competence looks like. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of teams that had, you know, shaky QBs all season, though, like Trey Lawrence. I don't think he's ever going to step into that.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence?
Lawrence. I'm sorry, I said Trey, right?
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is, I don't know if he's ever going to step into what we know.
You always confused him with Trey Lance?
No, I meant to say Trevor Lawrence. I tried to say Trev Lawrence, but I tried to be cool about it, but it failed. I knew who I was talking about. I'm talking about the white boy with the blonde hair. I'm talking about the white tall boy with the blonde hair on Jacksonville. The QB. The white boy. I know that's one, the white boy.
That would be diabolical.
No, I knew what I was talking about. I tried to shorten it, Trev, and then it came out Trey, and it just failed. It was almost like fuck it, because he's garbage. I don't need to say your name right when you're playing like this, Trev.
Yo, I saw a stat. He's actually playing worse than Daniel Jones.
I know.
So much for a generational quarterback.
Listen, man, there's a lot to be said there. Is DJ Shark still there?
No.
That's probably why.
DJ's been gone. He left last season.
Haven't seen him play the same since. I remember hearing DJ Shark do. Shout out to the Fantasy Footballers podcast.
Yeah.
I don't hear that song anymore because he's not there. I don't know. I'm holding this intro hostage. I'm sorry. All right, so week 3, Ness, what really stuck out to you this week?
The fact that neither one of us really picked up on Juwan Jennings.
I mean, we did tell people last week.
We weren't really, well, to give us credit, we didn't know George Kittle was going to be out.
No, that made a difference in the game.
A major difference. And Brandon Ayuk just stone hands all of a sudden. He got the targets. He just couldn't grab them.
I mean, the throws are there, and I think that's going to develop through the season. Ayuk is definitely getting targeted. I just feel like, right now, I think with Kittle being out of the game, it did force them to strategize a little bit because I think, really, let's be honest, I think Kittle's a large part of their game plan.
Mm-hmm.
So with having him and McCaffrey out this week, it did make them have to kind of throw a little bit more than they probably used to.
It felt like fucking Juwan's out there somewhere.
It was. It was like he just was throwing it in the air, and Juwan was catching everything.
Did you see
How many targets was it again?
That man had 12 targets.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Honestly, 12 targets is actually an anomaly. You're not going to see that all the time. You guys know Saquon Barkley's still killing shit over there in Philly. Anyone who's a fan of Saquon or Philadelphia, you've seen what they've been doing all season. They've been heavily relying on that running game. It's been working for them. Josh Allen has been somebody that surprised me of late. I'll be honest with you, when I heard that Stephon Diggs was leaving, when I heard that, what's the other receiver that left?
Gabe Davis?
Gabe Davis. When I heard that Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis were leaving, I wasn't sure if we were going to see the same Buffalo team that we saw. They're looking better.
And that's the thing. We are not seeing the same Buffalo team that we used to saw. We've seen a better one.
We are. They're looking better.
Because...
Hold on. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Playing.
I'm playing. Sorry, y'all. There's a plane passing over.
The joys of filming outside.
Filming outside.
Yeah. It seems that they are definitely a better team now because that running game has been amazing.
Amazing.
The receivers are coming along,
mm-hmm.
and it's just getting better from a week-to-week basis. But you see, it's still Josh Allen.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because from the beginning of the season, I feel like me and you have been going back and forth between Coleman and Shakir. Right? Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Shakir?
Yeah, Khalil Shakir. Yes.
Khalil Shakir. I know me and you were both kind of like weighing in our favorites out of that Buffalo receiving squad, and I'm seeing that this week was like the first week that we saw respectable numbers from Khalil Shakir.
Mm-hmm.
Coleman, not so much yet, but I still feel like it's in the cards for him. I just think they're still getting it down right now.
Apparently, when it came to Coleman last week, he was just not involved. This week 3, apparently there was some sort of reprimanding that he was going through, so they didn't even start him.
Oh shit! Really?
So that's I think he was like late to a practice or late to an event or something like that.
Wow.
So it was some sort of reprimanding that he was given.
Yeah.
And that's what caused him to not really be as involved in the game plan.
And he's still a threat. So, I mean, if I'm anyone that owns him, I'm not really quick to drop him, but it is uncertain.
Hey,
there's a lot of uncertainty, you know?
He had a touchdown.
Yeah.
It was better than 0.
Yeah. There's some other people that really were shockers this weekend. Anybody who's watching the Washington game, that stuck out to me very, very, very much. Jaden Daniels, this made me pay attention. I don't know about you.
I've already been paying attention to the kid.
This week got my attention. I don't know why. I feel like this was one of the most confident games I've ever seen him play since he's been in the league.
Yeah. I mean, he's been putting up numbers from a week-to-week basis. It's just that, he actually looked poised this week.
This week.
He actually looked poised.
The way he was running. I still think he needs to, slow down a little bit. I think he's got that rookie shit with him where he's just excited to get the yardage and he's not throwing any caution to the wind. I think he's just throwing his body around a little bit too much.
That's the unfortunate part of these just rushing quarterbacks. They're not a pass-first thought process. It's run first. It's like first progression. If I don't see it, I'm going.
That's a problem, and that's a problem with a lot of them. You're right. They're on this run first shit, and it's like, you know what? If you guys only understood the value that you have, you will not want to waste these years getting tackled like this or running and throwing your body around like this. Because QB is probably one of the oldest positions that you could play in the league. You can really take this one as far as you want to go. Look at Aaron Rodgers. So at the end of the day, if you're a young QB right now, I would recommend, look at Tua. I don't want to say it like that, but you guys got to understand you are one of the biggest targets on the field. It's not smart to be throwing yourself around like this. I would definitely take some time trying to find the passers before you just start scrambling. I get you got legs, and it's great you want to use them, but let that be I don't think it needs to be the rule. I think it should be the exception to the rule. You're an exceptional runner. but you're still a quarterback. Let's not forget your position.
Like for the love of God, if you are going to run, please just slide. Don't
That
take the
part
hit.
too.
Slide.
Oh,
Don't
they
take
be
the
trying
hit.
to hurdle people.
Just slide. Don't take the hit.
It's
You are
so
not a running back. You're not a
stupid, man.
wideout. Stop looking for the flashy play, the highlight reel play. Just you're the most important player on the field for your franchise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Act like it.
Yep. No, I agree. All right, so we're at this time we're going to go to a segment that you're familiar with by now called the watch list. Basically, this is a list of players that you can add if you want to speculatively, but we would suggest just leaving them on the waivers for now and keeping an eye on them. If you have any fantasy football apps that you're logged into, just hit the star button or that watch button, and that's somebody that you should definitely just keep in mind while you watch the games, because you know what? This could be your sneaky pick for the midseason to get you through the bye weeks or to get you to the championship. Everyone doesn't have to see this player on your team. This person might not put the numbers up that you hope, so that's why you're just watching them. But again, you could take a risk and add them if you feel like you're in a league full of vultures like us where they might not last long.
Vultures is a fact. Now, first person I'll say that we need to watch at this present moment, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Oh, wow. He's on my list. Wow. He's on my list. Wow. He's on my list. Wait, well, he's on my, wow. I actually had him on my, I got him on my ads. All right, well, go ahead. You cook. I'm going to add him later, though. You cook.
Because he is about to come back from IR. Well, it's not even IR. What is it? It was mental health. It was like a mental health issue he had.
Yeah.
Speculatively, he should be starting early as week 5. And currently, with Pacheco being out, he's going to be a major part of that running back backfield, especially since he has the most experience in the offense and being with the team for as many years as he has. So I'm sure that he's going to do pretty well when he comes in.
I agree. Honestly, I'm going to dive more on this when we get to the ad part of the show. But I agree wholeheartedly. If you can click the watch button on Clyde Edwards-Helaire, right now is the best time to do so. The speculative ad that I had, the watch list edition I had today was somebody that's on the Green Bay Packers, another running back by the name of Emmanuel Wilson. If anyone's been watching the games, you guys understand that Emmanuel Wilson is actually somebody that he has been getting reps in the game. You guys also understand that Josh Jacobs is getting older. I don't remember the last time I've seen Josh Jacobs healthy for a full season.
That's a fact.
If you're someone that is not strong at running back and you're looking for someone who could be a respectable fill-in just to have some points for those bye weeks, I think Emmanuel Wilson is someone that you might want to start keeping an eye on. He's somebody that I think can definitely get you through to the playoffs. And if something happens to Josh Jacobs, this can end up being a league winner for you. Someone that I definitely would add to your watch list.
All right, so if we're going to stay with running backs, I'll definitely go. I'll pick Bucky Irving.
Oh, yeah.
Because Bucky Irving is just, from week-to-week basis, is just showing that he's a better runner than Rachaad White. Looks like the coach had already said that it looks like he has earned more reps. So it's only a matter of time before he ends up taking over that backfield.
Absolutely. He's already doing it. It's already in motion. Rachaad White, he's already not looking as strong as a starting QB. He's been eating to his numbers every week. Incrementally, you've been seeing it eating more and more. And I think this week, we definitely saw a difference. We're going to be seeing Bucky Irving take over that backfield sooner than later. Another player that I had on my watch list, somebody that you're probably familiar with. We all are aware of the need for tight ends in this league. Noah Fant. Yeah.
It's a damn shame.
I know. This is where we're at. I'm not proud of it. You know what I say. It's like, I'm not going to say the reference again, but if any of these tight ends wants to come to my door with any of their drama and their baggage, I'm going to accept it because I have no one other options. I'm at my wit's end. I'm the last kid picked up from school, and I just want to go home. and I don't care who comes to get me at this point. Just somebody, please save me.
Shout out Brenton Strange. You actually came through for me this weekend. Thank you, Brenton.
Yo, it's gotten desperate now. We're in desperate territory, and I'm not even gonna lie, it's embarrassing. But we're here. I accept it. Noah Fant, add him to your watch list. If you need a tight end, just pay attention to what he's doing. Who knows? What else you got, Ness?
All right. I know we talked about this player last week, but I'll continue to talk about him because he's still available in 37% of leagues. Darnell Mooney.
Oh yeah.
So,
I don't know how he's available in
37%. This man is getting so many targets. He's being used in the offense. Kirk Cousins is known to throw the ball around. And Kirk Cousins is just getting better as the weeks go by. He's getting healthier. I don't know why people are sleeping on Darnell Mooney. I really don't understand it. That man is just putting up numbers on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Mooney's still available in this many leagues. Again, if you're someone who's been in the leagues before, you're probably thinking about how shitty he was in Chicago. He's not in Chicago anymore.
No.
Just go ahead and trust the man.
He has a competent quarterback for once.
Come on. He's not bad. Give him a chance. Mooney is actually a really, really viable receiver this year. Someone else that I want to add to the list, I can't believe this guy's even available like he is, Alexander Madison. I hate the fact that I'm even saying his name right now because Ness is probably going to vulture this shit. And I can't drop anyone yet because one of my guys is an injured reserve.
You don't have to worry about me.
Word?
You don't have to worry about me. No. I own Bucky Irving. You don't have to worry about
Fantasy
me.
football has given me trust issues. I have no hope. Let me stop. Now, Alexander Madison. Honestly, you should pick up Alexander Madison now. But if you don't want to pick him up, I would at least watch him. Pay attention. Alexander Madison is basically the primary receiving back in that backfield. So if you are paying attention to any of the games, yes, he is not the number one back in the backfield. However, he is the primary receiving back. So if you're in a full or even a half PPR league, I am talking to you especially. You need to add Alexander Madison right now. When these players are catching the ball in fast-paced teams, like the Raiders are a pass-first team. They're not the team they used to be. They're not relying on the run game only. I think Alexander Madison is someone who's being frequently used in the passing game. If I'm someone who has any room in my team, especially when the bye weeks come up, these points can add up quickly. I would definitely have someone like him just as a bench stash or as a watch list. But definitely go ahead and get Alexander Madison if you can.
I agree with that. I can't even disagree with you. You're just looking for production anywhere you can get it.
At this point. And it's consistency. You know you're going to get a few passes from him. He's going to get a few yards. He's consistent so far, at least for the season.
All right.
Ghetto. All right. The last person I'm adding to my watch list is someone that really impressed me this week. I'm hoping that he's still available next week. I'm just giving him one good game to see if he does it consistently. But this is somebody that stepped up in the Cincinnati offense. Honestly, Cincinnati's offense is rolling right now. I know it started off a little slow, but it's gotten better. This week, Cincinnati put up numbers, and one of the people that got my attention this week was Eric All Jr. He's a tight end over there on Cincinnati. Now, I know what you're saying. Isn't Mike Gesicki the starting tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals? Yes, he is. However, Eric All Jr. was somebody that came in because I think Mike Gesicki was injured.
Yes, he got hurt in the middle of the game.
In the middle of the game? And in the middle of Mike Gesicki being injured, Eric All Jr. came in for him. And something interesting happened. I saw this tall, slender, tight end figure. Pause. I'm not even going to let that out because that sounds crazy. Something interesting happened. I saw this tall tight end that looked something like, remember Derek Waller?
Yes, Darren Waller.
Darren Waller?
Yes.
Remember Darren Waller?
Mm-hmm.
That tall, muscular tight end. This kid looked amazing. Eric All Jr., if you haven't been paying attention, the Cincinnati Bengals have been raving about him all preseason. They've been saying that this kid is going to be something special. The quarterback over there. Oh my God, what's his name? What's the quarterback's name? Cincinnati.
Oh, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has been developing a chemistry with him all preseason, and honestly, a lot of the team has been raving about how quick, fast, and how amazing this tight end is. I believe that Cincinnati is going to start implementing more two tight end sets, as most of the league has. If you have been paying attention to the league this year, a lot of teams are starting to add fullbacks and other tight ends to the receiving core because it's becoming a very scrambly looking game. A lot of these teams are scrambling first. It's like you said, it's not pass first anymore, it's run first. So a lot of these QBs are looking for the checkdowns. And when you think about checkdowns, you think about tight ends. If you're looking for someone to just possibly be a good late season filler, I would consider paying attention to Eric Ole Jr. now. You're not going to see results right away, so please weather your expectations, but that's what the watch list is for. It's not to see them go off this week or next. It's saying, hey, I see a spark here, and this could be something that could be worth high stock in the end of the season.
All right. I'll add just one more to that. Is Xavier Leggett, wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. Now, with this change to Andy Dalton just put up 300 yards.
Yep.
And he's done it the second time that he started for the Panthers. He's another 300-yard game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's raised the profile of every single wide receiver or just receiver in general in that offense. Now with Adam Thielen being out, Xavier Leggett has an opportunity to get a lot more looks and chances of catching the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect to see some big things for this kid going for the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Honestly, he's been somebody that's been at the top of the waiver conversation for the last 3 weeks. Even if he's still available, you're lucky. I know this is the watch list. I don't know what his numbers look like right now, but I am surprised if he's still available in many of your leagues because I've been seeing Xavier Leggett at the top of the waiver ads at least for the last 3 weeks. So, I mean, if you haven't added him yet, definitely pay attention to watching him, but I wouldn't watch too long because he's probably not available. All right. So at this time, you guys are,
before you check that, sir, 12% rostered in Yahoo leagues.
I can't believe it.
12%.
No, I can't believe it. I mean, I just can't believe it. I know. I just can't believe it because he's been at the top of the waiver conversation for the last 3 weeks. Xavier Leggett has been in most of those combos. But, again, the Carolina Panthers are one of those teams that a lot of people are not looking to for these kind of players, and I can understand why. You're probably like, well, again, if you're not paying attention to the waiver talks like we are.
They got a competent quarterback now, so everything's changed. It's all different now.
Yeah.
Welcome to Bizarro World.
Yeah, but I guess that's what made a difference, too. It's because of the quarterback. I mean, at the end of the day, no one really had any hope in
Poor Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young wasn't getting it done.
It was all Bryce's fault.
Even though this is the first week Andy Dalton came in, he showed improved. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't expect that. So
I did.
We did. Moving on, we got another segment for you. This is a new segment that we've added to the show, something that we like to label as the drop list. Exactly. Just like the watch list.
It's another list.
Right now we've had enough of a sample size to tell you what this season's looking like so far. I'm not saying we know exactly what's going to happen. Anything could happen from here until the end of the season. But I think at this point you should have a nice sample size of the shitty players in the league. And you could probably make the assumption for yourself, if you haven't, who you probably need to start thinking about whether or not this is going to work out at the end of the day. I don't know if you want me to start or if you want to go ahead with this one.
Oh, I'll start it off. Biggest time, you ever watch Andrew's over?
Yeah, we're going here, huh?
I know we said the tight ends are very difficult to weather, but unfortunately that man's being used as a blocker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's over. If you haven't gotten Likely on your team, I wouldn't own any other tight end in Baltimore at this point. I would let Andrews go. Any of the hopes and dreams of him returning to the days of yonder,
those are
let it go. It's over.
It's over, baby. It's done. Let it go.
Yeah, man. Well, staying in this pocket that we're in of fucked up tight ends, I got somebody else here that's shitty. Dalton Schultz, the starting tight end for the Houston Texans. You know, I am not going to lie. I wasn't even embarrassed for dropping him like 2 weeks ago.
I don't blame you.
I dropped him week 2.
Too many mouths to feed.
It's too many. You got Nico Collins, you got Stephon Diggs, you got Tank Dell, and that's not even the half of it. Like you got the running backs. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no room for Dalton Schultz to do it. If he does it, it's not going to be consistent. Your hair's going to look ashy. You're going to look dusty. You don't want that on your team. Let it go. I would definitely pull the trigger on Dalton Schultz right now. Clip it. Let him go. Put him in the fields and put him out of his misery. It's over. There's no hope for him having a real season this year. Give it up.
Another player I want to add to the drop list, Javonte Williams.
Yo, you're stealing my players.
How? I'm not even looking at your shit.
I know. I was literally about to be my next name.
I'm not even looking at you.
Yo, that's crazy. I swear to God, that was gonna be my next name. I was just about to say this nigga you need to staple him to your bench and don't let him off it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
All right. Huh?
Get a nail hammer and nail this motherfucker to your bench. Do not let that nigga on your starting roster.
I'll even add Jaleel McLaughlin to that. I just don't want any running back from Denver. I just don't want any running back from Denver at all.
But I wouldn't sleep yet, though, either. You know, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I let go of Jaleel McLaughlin last week. Yo, this is crazy. I let go of Jaleel last week. That's so funny.
They both got outplayed by a third round.
That's so funny, man. That's so funny.
They both got outplayed anyway.
They definitely got outplayed. But you know what, though? I also don't want to give up on the Broncos because of how well Bo Nix is playing. Like, Bo Nix is actually playing pretty good. He's getting shitty results, but he's playing pretty good. If you look at his numbers consistently, the nigga's throwing over 200 yards.
Yeah, he looks better this week.
He's not getting the touchdowns.
He looked poised this week. It's starting to show like they just don't have the position players.
Yeah,
the skill. It's becoming a skill player different.
I would say somebody that I would say is a fringe drop list. I wouldn't add him, but I would make him a fringe drop list. I would say, hey, if he doesn't start stepping up soon, Courtland Sutton. I'm actually saying he's not bad though. I think he could. If Bo Nix steps into his potential, Sutton could be part of the benefactors of that.
I mean, look, Bo Nix had a good game, and all of a sudden, Courtland Sutton had the best game of the season.
Yeah,
for himself, so I understand it.
No, I think he could be, but I wouldn't let this game excite me. I would want to see if this is consistent. Yeah, if they can do that consistently, man, let the good times roll. However, Courtland Sutton, I don't think you need to drop him yet. I think you need to watch him. And watch, you know, he's not a watch lister, but watch mister. You feel me? Old man shit. It sounded corny, but I don't care.
Yeah, that was very corny. But to go along with that, you know, I'm not going to cut this kid, but I'm going to bench him. It's Jalen Waddle.
Oh, yeah.
Because without Tua. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same. I'm dealing with that with Tyreek Hill right now. I'm dealing with that with Tyreek.
Because Tyreek he can blow open a big play any
day. He can, and that's why I like somebody like Tyreek Hill. If you're someone who has Tyreek Hill, even though you probably don't want to drop him because you know it's impossible to do that, I would try to trade. I would offer numbers up. I would give up Tyreek Hill for somebody like, man, this probably sounds stupid, but like if you can get what's the name of that kid? Marvin Harris Jr.
Oh, yeah.
If I can get Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yeah,
if I can get a Marvin Harrison Jr., somebody might be gullible enough to think, hey, name value, Tyreek Hill, I'll take it. And you will come up the winner of the season. You will get the benefit of that. Trust me. Another player I would add to this list, and this is my last name for the list, DeAndre Swift. It hurts to say this name.
Does it?
Yeah. Yeah, DeAndre Swift is not putting up numbers. I was looking at the yards gained on his yards gained for the last few attempts for the season. -12, -4, -4, -4, -3, -3, -2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 5, 20. This is like, these are the numbers he's getting per run. Like, I don't know what to do with this. DeAndre Swift has shown a regression, and I think it might be time to start thinking about dropping him.
I'll see if I can trade him for something.
I think you can get a trade for him
because
Name value.
It's a matter like with him, it's name value, and the issue with them is the O line. Because for the love of God, even Caleb can't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I hack the ball, that poor kid, he's one of the few that actually looks to pass, but he don't got no time. They hack the ball, he's running for his life.
Facts is facts. Yeah, man. Anybody else? That's it for us.
I think that's it.
All right, that was the drop list. Let me know what you think. We're gonna keep adding more names as the season progresses. Like I said, as the season gets more and more into the thick of it, we're gonna be able to show you more of what.
Ugh.
Ugh. Damn, well, I feel like Cameron just now. Oh, man. So, yeah, man. Well, listen, you know what it is. This is the part of the show where we go into the waiver ads for the week. We're going to do it a little different this week because we do have a short time. Unfortunately, we have to run, but we're going to just give you about 5 names that we personally think you should be adding before week 4 to save your season.
All right.
Yeah. You want to jump into the first one? You want me to go ahead and
I mean, I'll start it off.
I'll
start it off with DeAndre Hopkins.
Nice.
Blast
from the past.
Yes, a blast from the past.
A black from the past.
Black. Oh, God. So terrible.
Sounds like a good movie name.
Black from the past.
Black from the past.
But back to DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. He put up a good game last week. He's currently seeing an uptick in his targets. He's getting healthier by the week. It's just, taking a chance on Will Levis, but if they're going to be getting him the ball, I'll definitely go for D-Hop any day.
Yeah, D-Hop is a good ad. Honestly, this is Mr. Consistency. Honestly, every year he's never let me down. I've never seen a year where D. Hopkins has joined the team and has not provided results. I'll wait till that shit's done. Another player that I would like to add is actually, I just want to add him now just to get him out the way. You brought him up in the watch list. I also don't believe this is somebody that you need to watch. I think you need to pull that trigger now. Time is of the essence. You were on the championship Kansas City Chiefs. You have a team that's a high-flying team. You have someone that could easily step into the starting role on this team. I think you need to nab him now. Do not wait for this. Kyle Edwards-Helaire. If you are aware, he's coming back to the game. He had some personal issues that he was dealing with, but luckily they weren't physically medical issues. So that's a good thing. That means he's coming back healthy, and that's somebody that could just be plugged right into their system. He knows the system already. He's already got a relationship with Andy Reid. I think you should put this person on your team today. If you're weak at running back, if you're someone who needs running backs, this is a no-brainer for you. If you're someone who hasn't really needed running backs, but you have some open slots on your bench, I would still add him, even if you don't need a running back, because this is somebody who can make great trade bait. As the playoffs come in, as the bye weeks come in, players are going, well, again, I know trade deadlines are November 4th, right? Around that, normally for most leagues. If you're like me, you're strategizing on how to make the most of these players. And this is part of strategizing, trade value, okay? I think that Kyle Edwards-Helaire, if he's not someone that you can see being used on your team, is someone that, if he is valuable, can be made to use for, great trade value.
Another player I'll add to this list would be Tutu Atwell.
Oh, man, he's on my list, too. He's on my list. Yo, golly. Yo, there's so many names that are on both lists. This is crazy.
Because
great minds think alike. Sorry.
Tutu Atwell with Puka Nacua being out as well as Cooper Kupp being out, it was a toss-up between 3 different receivers in Tyrell Johnson, Whittingham, or Atwell, who was going to be the one that benefited.
That part.
And that answer was Tutu Atwell.
Yeah, Tutu Atwell definitely came out the better factor from that missing link in that team. The wide receivers needed to step up for the Rams, and honestly, Tutu Atwell is definitely filling in that void that they have. So I think he's somebody that can be relied upon as long as things stay the same. Yeah. Somebody else that I want to add to the list. My internet's acting really weird, so I can't see stats. If you could pull up Andy Dalton stats, that would help me. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, do me a favor. Pull up Andy Dalton stats.
Nah,
The next player I'm adding to this is a quarterback by the name of Andy Dalton. Yes, the mechanic. The
Red Rifle himself.
we brought the Red Rifle into the conversation last week, didn't we?
Yes,
We talked about him last week, right?
Because
Yeah,
we said that Bryce was going to be getting benched.
Yeah, we said that.
And we definitely said that there will be a better, competent offense. And
Yeah.
I didn't expect this, but hey.
Yeah. No, I mean, we kind of did, though. We said what he does. We know what he does. Listen, Andy Dalton's been doing this for years. This is nothing new. I mean, how long it lasts, that's another thing we are used to, too. But out the rip, he's coming looking very competent. He's coming here looking like he's somebody that can actually lead the Panthers to a win, as you can see. What was the stats from Sunday? How many yards?
319 yards.
And it was 3 touchdowns?
Yep, three
Three touchdowns, right? Yeah. If you don't have a quarterback that's making these numbers right now, you might need to add Danny Dalton. Because right now, I don't see anybody doing this consistently. And I'm not saying he will, but I'd rather find out from my bench than on the waiver wire where it might be too late. I think you should add Andy Dalton immediately. How many passes and what is his success rate?
Oh,
He do how many passes? I would look on my computer, but for some reason my internet's acting weird.
I'll pull it up from ESPN.
Yeah, my computer's acting really weird today.
Andy Dalton. Scores. Give me week 3. All right. Week 3.
Why is my fucking internet not working out here?
26 of 30. Yeah, 26 of 37.
Wow.
So he
Wait, say it like we're filming. I'm sorry, bring it back in.
he was 26 of 37 attempts.
Wow. How many yards?
319.
319. That's actually impressive. I'm honestly, I think that's something that should be considered. I would definitely add Andy Dalton today. Yeah. Who else you got, Ness?
I think it's time that we stop sleeping on this man. Sam Darnold. 45% of rostered in Yahoo leagues, but this man here
Yeah.
on a weekly basis.
Yeah, nah. This is becoming the new Mr. Consistency. I can't lie. He's one of my favorite ads for this season. I added him as a speculative ad last week. You know, you saw me after week 1. I added him last week. He went off for week 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sold. I'm gonna be switching between Sam Darnold and.
It wasn't even like crazy yards. It was only 181 yards, but 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. It was like amazing. It was amazing.
I like how Justin Jefferson is having a resurgence as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, this is not anything new. We've talked about these players in the past. Sam Darnold has been talked about on this podcast before. We've brought up the fact that he's somebody that's consistent so far. He's not the same as on the Jets. He's got a different line on him. He's got receivers between Justin Jefferson and I think Addison.
Well, Addison's coming back. And then Jalen Naylor.
You know, he's got a squad.
It's a matter of time before they get Hawkinson back.
Honestly, you need to get anybody that you can grab on that team right now. Get them. Like the Vikings are looking like a serious team this year. They might be a problem when it comes to playoff
They beat up
time.
on everybody's favorite Houston Texans.
Listen, between them and New Orleans Saints, those are 2 teams that I really think are going to surprise people at the end of the year.
Derek Carr became who we expected.
I mean, we're going to have the dip weeks.
It was a matter.
It was bound to come.
It was a matter. Of
But
time.
the Saints are still playing really good football. Their defense is something that I think is impressive, and that's actually going to be my next ad. The defense for the New Orleans Saints. If you've been paying attention to the defense, they've been putting up on average. They've been averaging about 10 points a game so far for the season, give or take. If I'm somebody who doesn't have a defense that's getting near the double digits, I would even take the risk of them not reaching that ceiling. But at the end of the day, it's looking like a good floor. I would definitely consider adding the Saints even if it's not your full team, bye weeks are coming. It's time to start thinking about those teams that you feel that you want to fill in. I know defense is one of those slots that you can kind of like start patching in by the week.
Yeah, you can
but
stream them weekly.
It's somebody I would consider, even if it's not going to add. I would stream them before week 5 because again, it's week 4 right now. I want y'all to think about this. It's week 4. After Sunday and Monday's games, after Monday night's game, we start bye weeks. So you might think you have time, but you don't. That's one of the funny things about fantasy football. We go into this thing with so much anticipation, and then before you know it, the season's over. We're already at bye weeks after this week. So I would definitely make sure you pay attention to that as you guys are thinking about the teams that you're going to be rostering and how you're going to go about doing that with strategy.
I mean, when it comes to defenses as well, we can't sleep on Green Bay's defense or even Minnesota Vikings.
My God, that was my next freaking ad, bro. Look at my list. Look at this. Look right here, right there. Yo, this is like 4 for 4 right here. We're like Wendy's in this bitch. This is crazy. Was that on your list?
Oh no! At this point, now that we're doing defenses, I'm going through it.
I was just saying this is on my list to add list. That's so wild.
I mean, I've already got Green Bay's defense on my team.
Well, not for you, for the fans. Come on.
I know, but I'm saying that's what.
Yeah, you gotta think. I mean, even watch lists, even it's for the audience. Mm-hmm. That's just not gonna tell you the people he picked up Imperial.
Oh no.
That's just like I got him. I don't care what you add.
Nope, I don't care what y'all add.
This is your host.
Facts.
A man that is not of the people.
At all.
Yeah, man. Well, who else do you got? Who else are you gonna share? Give them some change.
Some Trump change? I gave you 2 for 1.
Can you spell anymore?
I just gave you 2 for 1.
Can you spell waiver, sir?
I just gave you 2 for 1, though.
I could go again. I got more. You already took Tutu Atwell and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, I don't even got anybody original on my list. I mean, you want to go next, or I can get the next one.
Go for it.
I mean, Green Bay was my next defense. They're averaging about 10 points.
You might as well start. You might as well go.
Yeah. Green Bay's averaging. I only got like one more player to add on the list.
Go for it. Before I say it.
Yeah, for real. like Green Bay, Green Bay defense now. Okay. Green Bay. Real shit. Green Bay's been playing some top-notch defense since game 1. I told you in episode 2. Mm-hmm. After I seen game 1, when was it Jordan Love went out.
Yep.
With the injury, I remember looking at Deshaun. What's the QB's name again? On Philly?
Hurts. Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. I remember looking at Jalen Hurts walking out of that Philly game like, whew. I can't believe we pulled that off because it looked closer than people really understand. Green Bay almost beat Philly that day, and Philly's one of the top teams in the league. Green Bay almost beat Philly that day, and it has a lot to do with Green Bay's defense. Mm-hmm. Pay attention to these guys.
Oh, yeah, no, because it's hard.
I don't be going anymore.
It's hard. Like, when it comes to Green Bay's defense, it was, like, hard to gauge it just for, like, Philly, like week 1 with Philly. Mm-hmm. But then subsequently the next week, beating up on another team, and then the week after that. They've had 3 weeks, 3 interceptions. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. They're being Hawks out there.
And it's not easy teams. Look at their list. Look at the list of teams they beat so far. That's to be noted. That is something that should be studied. It's like when they go against the easier teams, I think it's just going to be a no-brainer for their defense to keep taking over the way they are.
Hopefully they don't look past people.
Yeah, but no. Green Bay defense. Go ahead, Ness. I got one more, but I'm not going to say his name. Hopefully you're not going to take him. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you should go ahead. I think I'm done.
All right. Well, the last player on this list, and this is actually going to complete the list for today, somebody I think you need to add. I think he definitely showed off after week 1's Monday night game. He showed out after week 3's Monday night game, is Andre Yoshivas. Is that how you say his name?
I don't even know who the hell that is.
Andre Yoshivas?
Is that the wide receiver from Cincinnati?
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Okay.
Andre Yosivas.
Okay.
I wanna look up the stats before I say more. All right, so even though the reason I'm saying you should add him at this point, even though there's potential for the leading receiver to come back. What was his name again?
Well, it's not even a leading. He was just a number 2.
Higgins.
Yeah, Higgins.
For Higgins, even though there's potential for Higgins to come back, I like the fact that he's being used in the end zone. He's actually becoming one of Joe Burrow's favorite end zone targets. On the per game average since he's been playing in the game, he's been averaging about a touchdown a game. His numbers aren't there, but I like the consistency between him and Burrow, and I don't see it going away once Higgins comes back. I feel like it's going to continue. He might be minimalized, but his numbers are already low, like as far as like receptions, because he's a new player. So I feel like there's a combination of, yes, he is filling in a role for a player who's injured. However, yes, he's also a new player, so his role can be expanded as well. And I wouldn't mind taking a gamble on that on my bench.
No, I think you got a good chance because they're facing Carolina next week, so you got at least another opportunity.
Yeah, I think it could be potential for him to do something. Again, he's been one of Joe Burrow's favorite end zone targets, so I think that's something to consider. Yep.
Then after that, it's Baltimore, the Giants, and Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So out of those, you got two out of 4 games that you got opportunity.
Yeah. Again, if it's somebody that you don't feel like you need, if you're weak at wide receiver, it's worth the ad. If not, you can keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another episode of Through the Wire, the podcast. I'm your host once again.
The sun's still up.
I know. It's the first time we've ended during the day. But I'm your host, Alan A.B. This is your host.
Yes.
Yeah, man. This is another one. Make sure you follow us on IG at Alan_AB.
And NYNES516.
Yep, that's it. And this is Through the Wire podcast. Shout out to the Spotify Studios team. We appreciate y'all. You're the best. Thank you.